So this is the new 4Runner, the new to me 4Runner. I'm gonna kind of walk around and show you how nasty it is and everything that I think I'm gonna have to fix and replace on it before I start daily driving it. And eventually we'll probably try to take it back to the mountains in Arkansas and go overlanding, camping, whatnot. So I've been dying to try to get to this project, but I've been trying to finish the sailboat first. So the sailboat engine, it's pretty much together. I was mounting some of the, it's like the adapter plates in the boat itself. And, well, I had a stud strip out. So basically that project's on pause because I'm going to have to order the stud. And we live in the middle of nowhere. So it takes a while for the studs to get here, or just parts in general. But yeah, so that'll be here next weekend. So for now, I have a little bit more time this weekend, and I'll start working on this. I'm really excited about the 4Runner because I've always really wanted to do a car build, but I never really had a chance to do it. So I think this one's going to be really fun. I'm pretty excited about this. Alright, so again, this is not a how-to, but if you're looking for a how-to to do the timing belt, water pump, and all that, all associated parts for a 3rd Gen 4Runner, check out Timmy the Toolman. I will actually link his video in the description because that's what I watched to do this whole job. And two things that I'm going to try really, really hard to do is one, I took notes watching Timmy the Toolman's video. And as I do this job, I'm going to follow these step by steps and then make notes to the side if there's things I run into. And then also I have little Ziploc bags and I'm labeling each Ziploc bag for all the parts that come off. Because I know life comes up and I might not be able to do this whole thing in a weekend. And so as that happens and it gets delayed, bolts would get scattered everywhere and I wouldn't know how to do anything. So I'm labeling my bolts in Ziploc bags connected to the steps and then I'm going to follow the steps and take notes while I do it. So that's what I'm doing to try to keep everything straight. And again, this is not a how-to, this is just kind of a, so I'm doing it, and you can follow along as I beat stuff with hammers trying to get it off. More than likely, that's what's going to happen. Let's jump to it. Out. Good girl. So just a note, my fan was not on very tight, the 4 volts for the fan clutch. Mine just pulled right off, no problem. And I had watched Timmy the Toolman's, whose was like extremely difficult to pull out. And so I braced and pulled it and I smacked my AC condenser. So I don't see any crinkles in the coils, so I think we're okay. But just a heads up if you're doing it. So I just got this new electric ratchet, and it's from that sketchy Chinese website, but I got this and about a million other things, including a super duper cool borescope for like 40 bucks. So I was like, you know what? I'll just freaking try it and see how it works. So I think I get to use it a little bit tonight. I've done a lot of the work already, but I've been dying to get one of these just because it makes a lot of these bolts getting off a lot easier. First impressions is it's pretty clean and it feels heavy. Now they could have put lead weights around to make it seem like it was heavier duty, but nothing in here feels cheap. I mean, you know, you've held a cheap tool and you know right off the bat, and this does not seem super duper cheap. See the battery. All right. Yeah, I mean, I'll put it to the test and we'll see how long it lasts. Might break first use, might last a couple months. Could last my lifetime, who knows? But either way, not much money. But I wanted to give it a try, so we'll see how it works. This is the way. All right. Not very fast, but hey. Yeah, bad. I ain't complaining about that thing at all. That's nice.
Hold on, you do your mama jokes. One person tweeted at her, quote, "You absolutely lack the journalistic bona fides to look up anyone's mom. You dumb F, grow up." And then she wrote back, "The freak out is everywhere. It is everywhere. The New York Times." So apparently, there are a bunch of left-wing women are now declaring a sexist strike.
Oh, smokes.
Neutrality or objectivity, just even in the name, the Associated Press. This isn't, you know, the Daily Democrat. It's the Associated Press. It makes so much propaganda.
That's not gonna work.
The Associated Press, in the style guide, banned the phrase illegal alien a few years ago. The phrase illegal alien just refer to the singular they. How demons refer to themselves in the Bible. It's done this because while traditionally he and him and his are the first.
So I was going to go ahead and do the valve cover job while I was this deep, but the Toyota parts department didn't answer, and I'm going to have to order it, and it'll take a while to come in, or I can get it from the Toyota Center. But it's also going to be a lot more money to get all the stuff that I think I need for the valve cover job. So we're just going to go ahead and finish this timing belt job, and then we'll do the valve cover job at another point in time. So we'll get back to that. I finally broke down. I went to the parts store and bought this seal puller because what I was trying to use was not quite cutting it. So now I have a new tool. This is how I do it. I don't know how other people do it, but this is at least something soft that I can just kind of slowly work in these seals with. Alright, seems like they are in as flush as I can get them. You're technically supposed to measure, but the old ones were just as flush as you can get with the housing. So I'm sure that's how the older person did it, but they weren't leaking, so we'll go back with wasn't leaking before. Forgot to video me taking the bolts out, but broke the water pump loose. Forgot about this hose over here. Gotta take that off.
was an invention that allowed man to use beyond barter. Before money, people traded goods, but it was cumbersome because you needed a coincidence of needs. If I was
on to the fitting, just got a lot of junk, a lot of gunk. Okay, that's good right there. Sean's putting a different thermostat on because he ultimately.
I forgot to take out the crankshaft seal, so I'm gonna do that real quick.
Back before these calloused hands and all this work, we sit up at the flats. You see her up there, Cody. I can see her through the pines.
What's this one? So I goofed up a little bit. I'm gonna go back and realign all the timing because at the beginning, when I took it off, I said I was off 3 teeth, but I forgot. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of retarded. But anyways, basically I should have turned the engine over some more and had it line up. I went back and did that, but it still didn't line up, so it didn't really make sense to me. So I'm just gonna move cylinder 1 to top dead center, and then make sure my crank pulley lines up, and then line up my camshafts, and then we'll go about with the rest of the timing belt job. But kind of forgot to do that, so maybe I'll show you how to put cylinder 1 to top dead center, but don't do what I do because I'm kind of crazy and doing things wrong most of the time. But I learn, and then I don't do it wrong the next time. At least that's the goal. There we have it, top dead center. Oh, don't like that. It's pretty spot on right there and there, so. Normally I would torque this, but I'll actually be replacing the spark plugs and the rest of this stuff before I crank it, so I'm not actually gonna torque it. The heavy hand time.
Like a lost-bound train, and on cocaine and out of control. Around the
So I'm about to try to put this timing belt tensioner back in. I got the actual part in and this one bolt, but the other bolt, which is like, way back in here, I gotta dive down deep with a couple of swivel sockets. All right, that's lined up. That's lined up. There's actually a mark on the crankshaft side that lines up as well. We have it on there. That is good. Very good. Very good. I don't know if I should slide that on more. That's even possible. All right. I don't know if you can see this in its full glory, but I had to do some jerry rigging because this stinking kit that I bought said that it fit Toyota, crank pulleys basically, and it did not. So I don't have a way to tighten my crankshaft, so I decided to just make one. But I also remember that I don't actually have a torque wrench that goes high enough for 217 foot-pounds, so we're going to go to 150, because that's the max on this one, and then I'll have to go buy another torque wrench to finish off the torquing. Look forward to the next one. 217. Let's go figure that out. So I went to Harbor Freight, got me a brand new fancy torque wrench. So I'll be trying to use that one. So I went to Harbor Freight, got me a brand new fancy torque wrench by Quinn, and it goes up to I think 300, which is gives me just enough to torque this crank bolt. It needs to go to 217. So set this up and then we'll finish torquing this crank bolt, which I should have done like a week ago. Alright, still have my fancy tool all set up, so we'll get this on there. Alright. Well, that 2x4 needed some more strength, I would say. I know I could have put like a strap around it. Wonder if I could still do that. Hang on, I'll be right back. Alright, now we got some wood clamps on it. I'm sure this will definitely hold, so we'll give it another go. Ah, yes, sirree. No problem. Oh yeah, wood clamps to the rescue. Oh, man, that's one. So if you're watching this, you've probably seen the trick, but you put two nuts back to back, you tighten these up by themselves, and they kind of lock together, and then you can screw your stud back in the block. I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on there, just to keep it from coming off in the future if I do this job again. Snug that up. I can flash on this camera. I hate it. Snug this up. That should be plenty. I don't want to strip out the block. When you break it loose, you've got to hold it still. There you go. And you take off the two nuts. And voila, you have a new stud. And I have one more stud I have to do this with. Yeah, this one. Alright, cut the power steering pump loose. It's been held up with zip ties for a good little while. That's the plug. Goodness gracious. There we go. So I think that's going to wrap it up for the timing belt job. I still have the fan clutch, and it's not the harmonic balancer, but that main pulley down there. But I'm kind of doing a lot of stuff at once. So as I was doing the timing belt job, I took off the plenums and the throttle body and stuff like that to get ready to do the valve cover job. And I basically have to put all that back on to finish this. Well, okay, not really. I could put all that back on to finish this, but I'd rather leave it more open like this while I do the valve cover job. And then while I'm doing that, I might also do lower ball joints, upper ball joints, CV axles. I have to do the power steering rack. I must be turning and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to kind of leave off as much as possible until the end, but I do still have it very well labeled and organized. I'm hesitant to go into too many different things at once because even though I'm trying my hardest to be organized, I can definitely still lose stuff. So right now the plan is to stop right here and then do the valve cover job next. And then I have a nice shelf over here where I'm storing all those parts neatly labeled and organized. And then I think right now tonight I'm actually going to start the ball joint job. I'm going to start taking everything off the sides. Again, I'll neatly label all of that and store it somewhere else other than the shelf so they don't get mixed up. And then that way I can actually have more access to like the transmission bell housing and things like that, so I can try to clean it some more, because I mean it is just caked up with mud, grime, oil, and who knows where leaks have come. This thing's got 300,000 miles on it, but still runs smooth. So we're going to try to take off even more things and fix everything I can. It's basically going to have a new front end. We're going to go new bushings, ball joints. I'm not replacing the control arms. That'll probably happen later down the road. But yeah, we're going to try to do everything we can. So that wraps up the video for today. Thanks for staying tuned this long. If you like this style of content, there's some videos probably like over here or something about different boats that I've restored. The power boat, the big cabin cruiser, that one's going to be coming more in the future as we completely restore that one as well. Get more seats and things like that. Start taking it on more trips. And then, yeah, stay tuned for this one. More should be rolling out. And try to put them in nice, neat playlists. So if you find this like 20 years down the road, you can binge watch all of what gets done to a 4Runner or the super old Bayliner. Because I hate when I'm trying to look through other YouTube videos and they're all like dispersed and lost on the channel and they're not in one playlist. So sorry, started rambling, but hope you enjoyed. Have a good one.